I would like to welcome you to Guersan's YouTube channel. Yes, it features content from the mobile game WWE Champions. So for that, he has my support.
Hello, champions. A couple days ago, I asked you to basically ask me questions about anything you want, whether it was me or the game, kind of like a Reddit AMA or a Q&A. This is going to be part 2 of that. If you haven't seen part 1, check the description. I'll put the link in. This is part 2. We got a lot of questions, so obviously couldn't put them all in the same video because it would be well over an hour. So let's go with part 2. First question from Jason Mayer. That's a two-parter. First, if Owen Art were ever a character in the game, we all know that has zero chance to happen. I'm just speaking hypothetically. What class do you think he would be? I've also thought about it, and theoretically, he could be 5 of the 6 character classes. Blue Blazer, Acrobat, the Rocket Tech, King of Art Trickster, Slammy Award winning Showboat, and Black Art Striker. Yeah, that would pretty much agree with all of those. If they were to make only one, I'd say the generic Owen Art as a tech, but as you say, that's never ever gonna happen. And for those wondering why, that is because the WWE and Owen Art's widow are on really bad terms. She is not allowing them to use him in anything. So that's why you don't have him in any footage. You don't have him in the Hall of Fame. He's basically erased from history because she don't want to have anything to do with WWE. Second question he had, who's your next 4-star silver projects? Time will tell. I mean, my plan is Harper and Rowan, Rey Mysterio, Macho Man Trickster, Rock Trickster. Those are the ones that I also Stone Cold Showboat. Those are the ones I want to get 4-star silver next. Reality is it's probably going to be somebody else, like someone already got maxed at bronze that I'm going to want to do points in an event and get silver for it. Something like that. But those are my next plans. But those are all characters I don't have the coins to afford to level. So it may take a while, but those are the ones I want. Jason Wirt, remember that WWE Champion Roster pick I sent you a while back? If so, will you be using it in your videos on your new PC? No, I don't remember. I get like 450 messages per day, so I don't remember, sorry. Jesse Cruz, do you watch wrestling in general? Who's your favorite wrestler, if so? Yeah, I do. I don't watch, I watch Raw and SmackDown. I mean, just that, it is 5 hours per week already. I don't watch NXT. I do watch the NXT takeovers because they're always freaking awesome. But I don't watch the weekly show for NXT. I will probably watch AEW when it starts on October 2nd. I do watch their pay-per-views. I don't know if you can say pay-per-view when they're free. Whatever. I watch their special shows. But yeah, that's a lot of hours on a week. Have you always been a wrestling fan? If so, how long? That's from Joe Sundis. No, I was not always a wrestling fan. I was a fan starting in about 98, yeah. Up until right after the Attitude Era ended. And then I started back about 2.5 years ago when I started playing the game. That's when I started watching wrestling again. So I have no clue of, well, now I do because I watched back some stuff from previously. But when I started, I had no clue who all those Seth Rollins and guys were from NXT because I didn't see the birth of NXT because I wasn't watching at the time. John Lambertson, who's your favorite character in each class and why? We already covered that in part 1, so I won't. Let's. In case you didn't watch part 1, I'll do it again. So Showboat, that is probably my Matt Hardy. Acrobat, it's probably a tie between Jimmy and X-Pac. Powerhouse, that's my Zombie Austin. Trickster, that's got to be my Seth Rollins. Who am I missing? Wish class tech. I don't really like tech in general, but that's probably going to be Shawn Michael. Who's the class I'm missing? Striker. Next big thing. Brock. John Means. How do you rate Mr. Perfect and Farooq? Both at 3-star gold. I just got the Farooq, so I'm not familiar with him yet. As far as Mr. Perfect go, I really like his moveset and really like the gameplay with the character. Mr. Perfect is a great character. He is not as dominant as he was as a 3-star gold. Once he gets 4-star gold, he remains a really good character, but he's not top tier anymore. Farooq is pretty much used as a trainer only. He's definitely not a bad character, but he's not a great character either at 4-star. Mainly used as a trainer. John Pierce, who's the best free-to-play striker to use in Champions? That would be Anvil. Even if you don't have Matt to train him, he's probably the best free-to-play. Corbin's not a bad one either. At least at 4-star. Jose Justo Reynoso Carrasco. Sorry if I just butchered that. Hi Guersan, how much money you spend on the game every month or week? That's a real... I don't know. It varies a lot. Nowadays, not much. Like maybe $500 a month. Top. I used to go up to 5,000 a month in the past. Since I stopped playing for about a week or so, like 3 months ago, I've really dropped a lot how much I spent on the game. Like I dropped from like, I believe at the time I was spending about 2.5k per month, 2.5 thousand a month, and now I'm down to like a big month would be about 1,000. But the average is under 500, I believe. Justin Bailey, how good is Showboat Rock at 3-star bronze? Showboat Rock, since he was redesigned, is actually a pretty good character. He's probably the second best Showboat for free-to-play players. So definitely, yeah, he's good. Justin Jomi, is there any redeem code or anything to get the Shield, Roman Reigns, Seth Rollins, and Ambrose? No, there's not. Like I said on part 1, there's no more redeem code, period. Those were taken out mainly because Apple doesn't allow redeemable codes anymore. And there was only Android user that could, and last time that made a shitstorm. Apple user were not happy that they had to get it through the mail, while Android could use the codes. So now we haven't had a single code since well over a year, so I don't expect to see them anymore. And they wouldn't give a redeemable code for guys that there was an event that you needed charge for anyway. Iris, what do you do for a living? Who is your favorite wrestler? What do I do for a living? I do tech support for a telecom company. So, which is basically tech support for internet services, cell phone, landlines, TV, pretty much every single service you can expect from a telecom company, like in the US, in Comcast and whatever, similar to that, but in my regional area. And who's my favorite wrestler? I said that earlier too. That is pretty much either Braun Strowman or Drew McIntyre. Oh, I'm going to butcher that name. Marishi Dayanan Shiksha Sada. When they are bringing Almighty Lashley and McIntyre, please tell them to bring them soon, as in next month. Yeah, that's not going to happen next month. I mean, contrary to popular belief, they don't just press a button and generate a character. Characters take like a year to come to fruition. Like if you remember, not on last WrestleMania, but the one before, I previewed the artwork for a bunch of characters, some of which are not even released a year and almost a half later, some of which were released a year after, like Woken Matt. So yeah, they take quite a long time to be released. Plus they need WWE's approval as well, so that takes a while too. So yeah, Lashley, overdue indeed. Drew McIntyre, way overdue. That's my number one character on my list. Like, I want Drew McIntyre before I want Hogan. So hopefully soon. Haven't heard anything about either of them, so time will tell. Manta Kultia, When will you post your next video? I'm waiting. Well, if you're watching this, that was the next video. Marcus Smith, how long did it take to get where you are now? I don't know if you mean as far as my roster in the game or as far as my YouTube channel. If it's as far as my roster in the game, about 2.5 years. If it's my YouTube channel, pretty much 3 months more than that. I believe I started my channel in January 2017, I think. Matthew L. What's the best way to try and get UF Rowlings without spending a lot of money? There's not. Yeah, he's a paid character, so you can't get him in anything else than in pulls. Although I did see before I recorded this, there's an offer for him right now, which will probably be over by the time you see this video, but there's an offer that you can pay $100 to get 200 shards for him, and you need 400 to recruit him. So he's been part of many of the previous different pulls, not the key pulls, but pretty different event pulls and things like that. So a lot of people do have quite a bit of shards for him, and you only need 400 to recruit compared to most guys that is usually 800. So if you're short 200, paying $100 to get those 200 is probably the best way or the cheapest way you'll ever get to recruit him. It's a lot of money, but I paid $3,200 to get Seth back then because it took me 32 pulls of $100. So I would have loved that option back then. But other than that, you're never getting him free. You can never say never, but pretty unlikely. Maven Specialist. Did you regret spending $4,000 trying to get Seth Rollins? Right on target. It was $3,200. Do I regret it? I mean, had I known it would have cost $3,200, I never would have started. But that was like in over a year, over like many pulls. So, I mean, probably could have done much more things with that money, but can't say it hurts. Michael Delauder, my gamer name is Blake19. What is the fastest way to get TP beside buying it? Well, there's two ways. Either you buy it or you earn it. So in this case, if the only other way apart from buying it, that would be earning it. Farm the hell out of those matches that give TP. That's pretty much all matches. I like, personally, if I do want to get TP, the daily colored tours, the daily tours for specific colors, those are probably the matches on art that give the best result. But it is not going to be a fast process, that's for sure. Midas Star. Do you have a console? If so, which game do you want to play the most? I do have I have a PlayStation 3, which I haven't used in a long time. I got a PlayStation 4 with many loaded games that I bought that I haven't had the time to play. Among those, I'm currently playing Days Gone. I got to finish the DLC for Spider-Man. I got to start playing, like, PlayStation Plus just gave us free Detroit Being Human, and actually bought the game that I haven't even tried yet. So, have I known, I never would have bought the game back then, would have saved $80, and I would have got it free. So, there's that. I also got a Nintendo Switch, which is mainly for my daughter, though. She's 8 years old, so PlayStation games are a bit too complicated for her, except for the Lego games. So the Switch is perfect. We're going to play together on it. We're going to play either the Pokemon Let's Go or Mario Kart or games like that. Like, she loves Kirby. Kids game, basically. Mike Burke. Hey G, hope you're doing well. I just pulled Harlem 8 Booker T at 3-star silver. I was wondering if he's worth investing resources in as a usable character or just a trainer. He's actually a pretty damn good character. He's probably the best defensive guy in the game. Main issue is, when do you need a defensive guy? Never, unless they require you to. Or you want to do, let's say, I have a blank. What's the name of those matches? Survival matches. They're good for that. He's a really good defensive guy, but you usually want to get the jump done fast. Mike Drenning. Who do you prefer as a purple MP steel character? Six, Phenom, or Zombie Brock? They're pretty good at stealing purple, but nobody come close to Six as far as stealing purple. Definitely the best one there. But the other two are good. Nathan Arms. What feature do you want most added to WWE Champions? One feature I've been asking for about 2 years or so is the ability to break down tokens. Let's say you break down a 3-star gold token, it's going to give you like 2 or 3 2-star gold tokens. Or break down a 4-star silver token, it's going to give you like 22-star silver or something like that. Breaking down, not making higher ups with the lower one, but breaking the higher ups into lower ones. That would be freaking awesome, especially for the big issue of getting 2-star silvers, which are super hard to get. NC Mario Fan 3. I have Andre, Vince, and X-Pac at 4-star bronze. That's more a statement than a question. Grats. Neil Shivgan. Hi, sir. Who's the best wrestler in WWE Champions game? Only one bestest. And why Scopely only programming game for paid players only? Because in most of events, we don't have that character to play. As an Indian game lover, we can't spend currency in dollar. 1 USD is 68.95 INR. Well, that's called life. Basically, it sucks for other countries that are not the US. I know, I'm in Canada, so I pay 35% more for everything. But it's a world economy. So what can you do? They can't have different prices for where you are in the world. That would be unjust to the other places. They can't charge you less because your country is poorer than another country. That wouldn't make sense. People would just make fake accounts from India and buy everything cheaper there. So they can't do that. So that's why. Why do they make a game program for paid players only? Well, they don't. There's content for free players. The end game and the harder stuff and the special event, of course, they're going to be aimed toward the paid player. They're not a charity. They're a business. They're all about making money. They have basically they got to pay their dues to whoever their owners are. I mean, it's a business. What's a business made for? Make money. So of course it's going to be aimed like a restaurant would go out of business if it was all about giving free meals. And who's the bestest in champion games? Well, it depends at what, and it depends doing what. So that really depends a lot. And you can ask 10 person and you're going to get 12 answers. Notorious White 56. Can you get Roman Reigns on your intro? Nope, he's not available from the different services I use so far. They had a lot of guys. Like there's like probably 500% more guys than there was last year right now. Overdrive plays. Who should I take for SS? Seth, Tough, or Ronda Rousey? Well, they're different classes, so you can do both. If you don't have the coins to do both, though, I'd say probably go with Seth Rollins. They're both pretty much at the best of their respective classes. But obviously you don't need women character as much as you do males. So Tough would be my first choice, but they're both different classes. So go for both. Paul Hunter, what's the actual correct pronunciation of your name? Bret Hart, Lacey Evans, Matt Hardy, Corey Grave, who said it the most correct way, and how'd you come up with your YouTube name? There's not really any real way to say it because it's not really real. I have learned that it's a real last name though, which I did not know for like many years. But I mean, in French you would say Guersan. In English, when I say it, I say Guersan. but I've heard different variations from all those guys. I'd have to hear him then again, but I believe Corey Graves was pretty damn close to what it was. You basically don't pronounce the U in English. It's just Guersan. And how did I come up with it? For my YouTube name, it's actually been my nickname for probably the last 20 years. That's what I've been using in every single game that I play that lets you pick a name. I've always used Guersan. It was my name 20 years ago when I was playing Dungeons and Dragons with my buddies. I started using that name at about 20 years old. My first character, I only ever had 2 names. The first one was Lord, which I got like tattooed on the arm right here, Lord. That was my first nickname, was _ Lord _. That was back like in the late 90s when it was like the IRC, BBS, before instant messaging, ICQ, things like that. That was the name I was using. Then I switched to Guersan about like 1999, 2000, something like that. And I've never looked back. All right. Well, we went through another page. And we're going to cut this here. This is going to be the last of part 2. I'm going to have a part 3 that goes. We have a lot of questions. So we're going to have a third part for this. Otherwise, it's going to be an hour video. So thanks for watching, guys. If you're not already a sub, make sure to do so to be kept aware when I post new stuff. If you have any questions, ask them. And if you like the video, leave a like and share. See you guys. Gia. Ciao.
Hey, this is Bret the Hitman Hart, and I got a very special shout out for my longtime fan, Guersan. This means so much to me when you kick ass on that game. I want to thank you for putting me on your YouTube channel, and I want you to know that you are the excellence of execution in life. You are the best there is, the best there was, and the best ever will be.